Hello and welcome to the Footy Coach podcast. My name is Jock, your host, and today I'm going to jump into a little topic that I've been thinking about with this preseason, obviously underway for many clubs and players in particular, really wanting to make it their best season coming up in 2023. Get them prepared to hit the ground running and really improve from where they are now, whether you're playing senior football in the resis, under 18s, under 14s, 16s, right down through the juniors. But probably particularly looking at under 18 to senior football in this conversation and in terms of really putting your best foot forward, getting you set up for your best season. And I'm going to talk about 3 simple steps that you may have come across, but it's worth really looking into and adopting for yourself, which is really about you really applying these rules and these steps to your games, to your preseason, and getting yourself ready to be the best version you and the best footballer and improve from where you are. So, number 1 step to get yourself to the next level, to a better footballer, is all about, and I like to think of it as PBing or getting a PB for your commitment and a PB for your commitment to football and what that looks like. So when I just think about that and talk about that, it's regarding you as a player and you as a coach, if you want to think about it that way too, really increasing how much effort you put into your football. So this could mean, in reality, attending all the sessions, doing the optional sessions, setting the bar really high. So thinking back to where you've done in the past, how much volume you've done, and really trying to PB that. So instead of missing a few sessions, you only miss 1 or 2 for the whole preseason. You get to those optional Saturday sessions or extra running or extra gym sessions. You really make them happen. Maybe a gym program, something you haven't done much of in the past. This is the preseason you do, and you follow it really well, really commit. You get that gym membership if your club doesn't have the facilities, and you really go all out, commitment at a higher level. And this extends to what your diet looks like, your hydration, what your sleep looks like, all those things that add up. And, it's no matter what level you're at, whether it's local football, VFL, and obviously in AFL, and where I'm coaching now at the elite under 18s. It's really about finding that next level and getting the better out of yourself, because that's actually where the enjoyment is when you get those improvements and you think back to your best games or to your best training sessions or to your best when you do it, lift a new weight, you'd run a faster time. That's where the fun and enjoyment is. So that's what this is all about, is really chasing the enjoyment, getting that growth. And that's what will keep you excited about what you can do with your football. And that's where you need to be constantly pressing towards getting better. And that comes back to this commitment. So this preseason, a simple step is just to know what you've done in the past. And let's see if you can set yourself a PB in terms of your commitment. As I discuss, get to your training sessions, do the extras, gym, rehab, diet, hydration, sleep, all those things go into it. So that's number 1. Number 2, really important principle, and that is modeling someone who has the results that you want. So this is all about, to put it into action, it's about finding someone or talking to someone, maybe at your club, maybe in your team, who's performing at the level that you would like to, or has performed at that level before. It might be a past coach you might be talking to, might be a former player, or a player has gone to another level. Again, if I relate to my coaching, just under 18 level, might be someone who got drafted, and you might go talk to them and see how they went about their season where you are right now. So it's really about modeling. So the principle goes, if you replicate what someone else has done in terms of what their actions are and how they went about, in this case, football, and really follow that closely, your results will be very similar as well. And that's sort of probably something you see in the AFL level with a lot of the copying and different things that come up. between clubs to get edges, and then the whole rest of the group follows on and repeats what they've done. This is sort of similar principle to what you could do at an individual level. So it's about finding that player. So ideal situation is if you've got someone in your team who might be the premier midfielder or defender or key forward or something, and you want to be like where they are. It's really about following their pattern. Go up and talk to them, watching them, how they go about it, what are they doing pre-training, how they go about during training, what time do they rock up, what time do they leave, what's their rehab look like, and really copying it. Simple, just copy exactly what they've done. So if you've got someone like that in your team, that is probably a perfect situation where you can just jump on them, follow their lead. And at every opportunity, pairing up with them, and don't be afraid to ask that person, senior player. They might be a 10-year vet at your local club. You might be 19, 20 coming into it. Doesn't matter. It's about getting involved, asking the question. So many people are part of a football club to help out, and particularly if you're in the same team. But even if you're not in the same team, you might be a competitor. A lot of people are more than happy to pass on their knowledge, and maybe this podcast is a good example with all the greats we've had on this podcast. Craig McRae and Gary Ayres and Bretton Sanderson and so many, Alan Richardson, the list goes on, giving their time up. So there's a great example of people sharing their knowledge. So whether you're, down at the local club, VFL, Sandful, in the Waffle, wherever you play footy internationally, find that person who has the results that you want, performs the level that you would like to get to, and really replicate what they do. So that's simple principle number 2. I think hopefully very actionable for all you guys listening. Third one is, which I think could really give you an edge if you're really trying to step your game up. And that's all about investing in yourself outside of just what your football program might have. So you might be, again, an under 18 at a local football, playing a good league. But if you can find the ability, whether that's a part-time job, to give you the opportunity to do extra rehab, maybe see a physio outside of training, be able to get into different rehab facilities, do the extra gym membership, extra PT sessions, all those sorts of things. Equipment, make sure you got the top of the line boots, top of the line gear, mouth guards, any gear at home you can work with, different nets and training balls. It's a really cheap sport overall. As a kid growing up, I had a family who was involved in, or still is involved in, equestrian, and the dollars that go through that sport is extraordinary compared to a simple sport like football. So if there's the opportunity to do that, I know that's not for everyone, but in general, is a cheap sport. You need a football and a pair of boots, and you're pretty much into it. So I think if you can invest in yourself, particularly in your rehab, particularly those extra, gyms are probably a good one. Getting PT, even doing some mindset work with psychologists and well-being people. I know the clubs have them. I know at the Falcons we have one, but a lot of clubs don't. Doing that work can really increase your performance level going forward. High performance coaches are fantastic. They know a lot about getting you in the right mindset to perform at your best. There's a reason why so many business leaders and high performers in the sporting elite do it. So you could do that at your local level. And I know not everyone's talented and is going to get to the AFL level, but that doesn't matter. It's back to the principle of the enjoyment factor is in you getting better. So in football, if you look across other sports, triathlon, local car racing, equestrian is a good one, as I just mentioned. They are extremely invested in their sport, spending a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of them, they're not elite. They're just local competitors who really enjoy the sport and love to see the best out of themselves. So I think in football, I know you have your club facility and you have what the club has, and it might have a few weights, and it might have, if you like, a little ice tub if you're lucky. But I think taking your sport very, to the point where you want to get better, why not invest in yourself? Like, you go talk to a local triathlete and tell me how they go about their sport and how much they invest in their bikes and gear and rehab and physios and so forth, and they're just a weekend warrior. They're nothing special. They're just a someone who enjoys triathlon, doing an Ironman, gets up at 5 a.m., cycles for 2-3 hours before work, runs 2-3 hours on a Sunday, training every day. So I think that's a real opportunity. And I know you play local footy. I just play local footy for the fun, but I come back to the fun is in improving. And if you've been playing for a number of years now and you start to look for those smaller margins of gains and just making yourself a little bit better, this is a really good area. So look to things that you could really invest in. It's really going to help you. It might be doing some extra, joining a footy clinic, hiring a personal football coach to do some extra kicking work, or a whole range of things. And obviously for coaches, here at the Footy Coach, we have the Footy Coach membership. It's a resource, $55 investment, and you can get a whole range of drills and skills and videos from AFL guns like Craig McRae and Shane Woden for $55, like that sort of investment. So there's lots of opportunity for you to do that with your football, whether you're a player, I'm talking about more. And then as the coach, absolutely, there's so many things you can do. We're putting together coaches trips in a season, which we'll have more news on our next one for 2023, some point next year. So keep an eye out for that, which is an opportunity to really have a few days away and just take your coaching knowledge to the next level. And yes, it does require an investment, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. Investing in yourself to make yourself better, getting the edge, but particularly just on yourself, just making yourself a better coach, a better leader. And that's, again, what I come back to where the enjoyment is. The enjoyment is getting better. And as my grandpa always says, if you're not improving, you're going backwards. So you need to be constantly looking for that improvement. And this is a great way to, give yourself a leg up, because a lot of people aren't willing to do it, aren't willing to put $100 here, a couple $100 there, 1,000, couple of grand to go for a trip to Queensland or Thailand or wherever it may be, to do this conference, to do these meetings, to visit these people, to invest in listening to a podcast like this. And this one's a free podcast, of course. So really opportunity there, I think, for players in particular, and more so probably even coaches. So that's number 3. So recapping, to make 3 simple ways to make this your best season yet. Get yourself prepared during this off season for your best season yet. Is PB your commitment. So go beyond what you've ever done before. Number 2 is model someone who has achieved what you want and who has achieved what you want to get to. And 3, invest in yourself. So make sure you invest in yourself, whether it be time or money. Invest in yourself to take yourself up a notch and get to the next level. So hope they were nice and easy to understand. Hope you enjoyed this podcast. Thanks to everyone who's sharing and telling your mates about this show. We've probably got one more episode for the year, which will be finishing up next week. And then we'll have a couple of weeks off and get stuck into 2023, which we're really excited about. So hope you're enjoying the start of your preseason. And if you're in the juniors, getting ready to get onto it in 2023 early. And we'll speak to you soon. Cheers.